Hi, hey, what's up, YouTube? How you doing, man? It's Joe D. Now, you guys don't know this because before I started all this, I was trying to do this on Facebook since they have this share a screen thing going, and it basically blows, right? So it's not as polished as YouTube. YouTube's been doing it the longest, and everybody still does it on YouTube for a reason. It's you can go back and forth, and it is now what it is. I've got not having a beer, I am having a polar pop. Wink. I was already drinking a Diet Coke out here earlier. This is now a stealth cup for whatever in the hell I have in here now, which is pretty much a Greyhound. And if you don't know what a Greyhound is, then look it up. In any case, it was about time for me to do an answering comments show video, and I have not done an answering. I went back. I'm embarrassed, but it's been since July, so it's way overdue, and I apologize. So I'm going back 3 months, right to the end, right to the line of 3 months and 2 months, and I'm going to do my best to answer some comments. I can't play any music, and that's what I was doing on Facebook. I really wanted to have some music playing since I wouldn't get flagged, and it's just not as polished. So, in any case, here we go. Let me share the screen, and we will get with it. So, here we go. So, we have the comments going. You guys can see it now, and let me see. Maybe well, no. Okay. So we'll start with, let's see here, Harry Nunez. There we go. That's right on that line. Oh, well, you know what? Let me answer this one real quick since I see this one. Rail 330, 3 months ago on Share a Beer Show 478 was asking, why did Bike Beer BBQ delete his channel? Well, and I'll thumbs up him. And let me see. Well, I'll put a ... Google. I'm not spelling that right, am I? Google deleted him. So what happened was, one day, Mark, for those of you that don't know, Mark is, this is going back already some years, but Mark used to do his own beer reviews, and he used to do a lot of different reviews, actually music and all sorts of stuff. And one day Mark woke up and his channel was gone. Poof. And I remember him messaging me and talking to me about it, and he was, hey, dude, anything going on with your channel? And I'm like, no. They just hit the big red button and deleted Mark, and that was it. I remember he tried to contact Google and asked them, hey yo, what's up? And nada. So that's basically what happened. And at that point, Mark just decided, hey, I think I'm just going to take a break from this. This is actually kind of nice. After a few weeks of going back and forth, or trying to go back and forth with Google, but that's pretty much impossible. It was a done deal. There was no explanation given to him or anything on why. I mean, Mark wasn't violating anything, but that's what happened. Mark didn't do it. Google did it. So that's where he's at. Ron's beer reviews and tools. That's interesting. Ron, I've got to see that, my friend. That's begging to be looked at. I mean, are you kidding me? Let's take a look at Ron's beer reviews and tools. So he's got drill press. Okay, this is as of 7 hours ago. How many videos does he have? Let's see here. He's got quite a few videos. Okay. So he's got a drill press hided. Ron's beer reviews and tools. 461. Look at him. He's right on up there, man. He's right on up there with us. With the Share Beer Show. Samuel Adam. Christmas Ale. Okay. Ooh, that looks like a good sandwich in that picture. Tool mail today. Ron's beer reviews and tools. So you got tool mail. So we've got beer mail. He's got tool mail. Scallops wrapped in bacon and beer. Dude! Tatra malt liquor? Whoa! Poland? This guy's got a Polish malt liquor? What the hell's going on here? This is number 457 here. Eating a submarine sandwich. Okay. Vegetable farm, old tractors. Eating sandwich again. Dude, if I was to make a video every time I ate a sandwich, I don't know if anybody wants to watch that. You know what I'm saying? Because I eat a lot of damn sandwiches, man. You know, hey, but I'm glad that Ron's doing this, man. It looks pretty cool, man. He's got another Harbor Freight haul. He's got Harbor Freight tool haul. A lot of people in the heart. Whoa! This cat's got a video. I have to share the screen on this one. He's got a video of it looks like Utopias. Let's check out his video, man. Give him some props. Why not? Oh yeah.
This is the bottle.
Look at that. Nice. Nice. I don't have one of those bottles.
There's Samuel Adams looking out at the fermenter. We'll close it up. There you go. So that's the bottle. And that's what we're going to be reviewing later on. How you doing, folks?
That's awesome, man. Hey, well, you know, good luck to Ron. Keep doing those reviews. Let me see. 3 months ago, he posted on my Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Good video. There is no pumpkin in Sam Adams Oktoberfest beer. They do brew a pumpkin beer. Opening the bottle is nice seeing water vapors, not smoke. Smoke generates from fires. Flames produce smoke. Have a good day. Hey, you know what, man? You're absolutely right. Flames do produce smoke. But you know, Ron, there is just something. So, you know, here we call it we call it smoke, man. It's not water vapor, it's smoke. We did, you know, there is something special, right? About popping the top off that beer and just woof, you see all the smoke. You remember the commercials back in the day in the 70s, man, and they'd pull the beer out of the ice cold chest, you know what I'm saying? And the water and the ice cubes and everything's dripping off the damn thing, and then they'd pop the top and all the smoke would come billowing out of the thing. That's what I'm getting at. I still have those memories, and to me it's smoke. Eat it. That's the way that works. And so in your videos it's water vapor, in my videos it's smoke. And that's the way it works. I'm getting another drink from my sippy cup. No, but thank you very much for posting, man, of course. But yeah, no, I've had many people try to break that down for me. I don't give a damn. It's still smoking. It's still cool. That's how I feel about it, man. So that's how that works here, Ron. Hey, by the way, every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, you are more than welcome to jump on Share a Beer and share those opinions live with us, man. Love it. Love to hear from you. Thank Ron Beer Reviews for jumping in there. Appreciate your comment, my friend. Harry Nunez, you are right. This is on the beer review of Sapporo. I did that. Whew, I don't even want to take a guess at how long I did that review. How long ago? You are right. When I drink any of the Sapporo beers, I say this is surprisingly real good. The taste is more complicated than Bud, Coors, or Miller. This is a high quality version of those. Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean it's sweet. You know what I'm saying? Now I haven't had Sapporo in forever. But yeah, I could go along with that. Yeah, I could go along with that. Intoxicating taste. We have this one on the review of the Ovila Double. Cool channel. I am not a beer drinker, so I am looking for beer reviewers' videos to share on my intoxicating taste channel viewers and Facebook followers. I don't know. Did that make sense to any of you guys? Cool channel. I am not a beer drinker, so I am looking for beer reviewers' videos. Okay, so I get that. He's looking for beer reviewers' videos. So I am a beer reviewer, so he's looking for videos from folks like myself to share with my intoxicating taste channel viewer. Okay, I get that. All right. Sure. All right. So he's basically browsing around at different. He's not a beer drinker, but that's what he's looking for. Okay. And it sounds like he's intoxicated, right? Intoxicating taste. Which is fine. I ain't got no problem with that. Share Beer Show 479. This was the new amazing Echo devices show or that was probably part of that show. Chris Clark, who's on regularly. I wrestled for 9 years and then went into the Army. Because of wrestling, U.S. Army basic training was actually easy for me from a physical standpoint. I said it in basic training nearly 16 years ago, and I'll say it again today. Wrestling is so much tougher than basic training ever was. Ditto, my friend. Ditto. I completely agree. Because well, we must have talked about it on this show, and I completely agree. It's coach, my wrestling coach had me completely prepared for and he wasn't trying to prepare me for basic training. He was just trying to get me in shape for wrestling. But it wasn't shortly after wrestling season was over, I went into the military. And I mean, boom, I was completely ready. Boy, I've got a story I could tell that happened to me recently about high school wrestling. In any case, I'll move on though. This is a comment on my coffee review. I for years I tried to do coffee reviews, and this was one of them I did on the Lucky Jack Nitro coffee that I had picked up at my local Costco. I think this was while I was living in the hotel. But we've got a Zadfrak Glutes. I'm not even going to try to finish that name. Get out of here with that name. What are you doing with that? Zadfrak. Forget about it. You see it on the screen. Why can't I find the caffeine content anywhere? You know what? I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Ask them. What are you asking me for? I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I don't know. That's a good question, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why? I don't. Is the caffeine content on anything? Is it? I don't really know. Maybe it does say how many grams of caffeine are on like a Coke or something like that. I guess I don't ever pay attention to that. That's something else for someone else to comment on this video. This is Share Beer Show 480. Havana has a YouTube channel. So we have A. I like that. That's at least easy to say. Either Ted Barras, the dude, I don't know what the big Grabaski or Triple M named the chairman is a valet employee, maybe a hotel or a gentleman's club, possibly why he has stacks of cash. Okay, so this is obviously getting at if you're a follower of the Share Beer Show, we have Bum, who was our investigative reporter. He actually Bum sacrifices, man, to let us know what is actually happening with the malt liquor community. He is our bridge to the malt liquor community. He sacrifices and is the malt liquor reporter for us for the Share Beer Show. And so what he's getting at with A's comment is he, you know, the chairman must be a valet. I've never thought about that, but you know what? I'm gonna have to bring that up with Bum. Maybe he is a valet and he's fronting, acting like he has a Corvette, and he really doesn't own the Corvette. He just has the Corvette occasionally. Yeah, and possibly why he has stacks of cash. That's a good point. It's as good as any, right? He has stacks of cash because he's getting tips in cash. We're gonna have to bring that up. Well, today's Friday. We'll bring it up tomorrow on tomorrow's show. Why not? Right? Sounds good to me. Why not bring it up then? You know? Yeah. You know. I don't know. Sounds good to me. Let's see. Yeah, I like the comment. Works for me. Let's see. So we'll start up here, and then we'll go down to Aaron's comment here. So you have Edmund Dantes. Hey brother, have you tried cold brew coffee? This is one of my Sunday morning coffee shows, and I had full intentions on doing one of these last weekend, and I just couldn't quite get to it. And this weekend I'll be at the Rams game. I might have a chance to get to it before the Rams game. We'll see how it goes. But in any case, hey bro, have you tried cold brew coffee? It's better acidity wise and tastes great. You know what? He's absolutely right. And I have had and Aaron's comment is cold brew coffee is the bestest. So I'm gonna comment. Yeah, cold brew is the best. It's absolutely correct. Because it once you've had it, cold brew is phenomenal. It is. It's just it tastes better. It's smoother. It's and what I like about cold brew, quite frankly, is you can also um you know, it's concentrated. So it's you typically have it cold, and if you want it warm again, you can just simply dilute it with nice warm water, or you can kind of warm up that, you know, batch if you just want that nice little concentrated batch of coffee. um but it doesn't have that like bitterness that uh, traditional brewed coffee does. It's just a lot smoother. If you, I am assuming a lot of people, if you like coffee, you've at least sampled cold brew by now. If you haven't, I encourage you to go to. I don't know of a local supermarket that doesn't sell cold brew by this point. Some of them sell it in the carton. Some of them sell it in glass bottles. I don't know, a 16-ounce bottle, 12-ounce bottle. I don't exactly know the sizes, but it might run you $5 to $8. But mind you, if it's a 16-ounce bottle, you'll get 4 ounces. Will make your typical 8-ounce pour because you're going to have 4 ounces of that concentrated cold brew and then 4 ounces of your hot water, um, and that'll make a nice cup, an 8-ounce serving. So kind of figure it in that way, and then if you are interested in trying some, and it is closer to the $8 instead of the $5. Most of them I see are like $5 or $6, but you might find some that's might be $8. It might be worth the one-time shot for you to give it a try. But I like it. I haven't bought any in a while, I have to admit, but I enjoy it every time I have it. Every time I have cold brew, I really do like it. um, so now we have loyalty rolling. I like Bud like lime. I think he meant I like Bud Light lime. But let me see. This was from the beer review I did on Bud Light lime. But want I don't like is the price of it. What I don't like, it must be. But what I don't like is the price of it. Bud Light and Bud Light lime should be the same price. Same alcohol. Bud Lime got to be a higher price. I'm gone to I'm gone to start buying Bud Light and buy some lime juice and add it in, uh, which is WITCH. That would be much cheaper and good videos, bro. Whew. I'm sweating after that one loyalty, I have to admit, man. But I think I get the gist of it. I think the main part of that was, uh, in his opinion, Bud Light and Bud Light Lime should be the same price, because it's the same alcohol content and they're very similar products. I think their argument would be, well, we're adding, even if it's not real lime juice, it's still artificial lime juice tasting stuff. And so their argument probably would be, well, we're adding at least another ingredient in a different bottle. Who knows? But their argument's going to be for that, leaning towards that way. And just the demand's probably greater for Bud Light Lime, and so that's probably going to be their argument. Moving on, we've got Dave Houston. My man got a Guinness T-shirt to go with it, so this must be my Guinness review. It's definitely one of my. Let me click on that one in case you have it. It's one of my more popular reviews.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So it's one of my more popular reviews. And God, I did that one in 2008. So, and we're still going at it here. So, it definitely gets a lot of comments still, and I'm glad, man. That was literally when I was first starting to make videos. And now when I was just getting into craft beer, and I thought, hey, why not? At that time there wasn't a lot out there, and so I thought, you know what? All I'm doing is editing photos because I was getting into photography, and that was kind of my main thing. And so I was like, you know what? While I'm editing photos, I'll just post it. I'm having a beer anyway, so let me just post a video real quick. Now, like I said, in those days there wasn't a lot out there, so there was some videos, but not a lot. And so I thought, well, I'll just throw my hat in the mix, and it blew up. I mean, how am I supposed to know? It just blew up, which is it's just fantastic. So I'm glad that 10 years later, it's still getting a lot of hits and still getting comments and stuff. Here we go again on Share Beer Show 480. Pumpkin in my area is $12.99 a 4-pack. Tastes exactly the same as it did last year, like liquid pumpkin pie. So Dave sounds like a fan of it. Um, Let me make sure to. Thanks for the comment. Which is good. For those of you, and I think we're kind of coming out of pumpkin season. Maybe some of you might be able to still find it in your area, but that might be something that helps you if you do see it in your area, and maybe you consider buying it if you have not. Estrella Dam, which I think was a Spanish beer, if I'm not mistaken. We have MJB on here with 2 comments. As far as a good beer goes, it is mass produced, massy muck. And please review top quality beers, not supermarket six packs that are cheaper than water. And I can appreciate that for sure. I'll comment on this one though, but I try to review. I didn't spell this right at all, huh? Category. And I still got that wrong, didn't I? Whew, thank God for spell check. Cool. All right. So, and I said, I try to I try to review as many beers from all categories as possible, which is completely true. I you guys know if you've watched me for any amount of time, I don't review beers as much as I should. If someone sends me beers, I will definitely do my damnedest to at least review 1 or 2 of them right away. But it gets really, really tough for me to review them. So here we got a couple more comments from the Guinness video as well. Scott Wolf, the score, man. One of the best beverages on earth, and it's still Guinness. When it comes to stouts, is still the measuring bar, right? For a lot of beers, it's getting lower and lower on that bar, but it's still like a standard. And it's we try to compare at least stouts that are kind of thin. We'll compare them to Guinness because traditional Guinness Draught is pretty thin. And then Joe Rod says, good video. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is a video I did on Glorias Cakes, which is literally, and it's Glorias Cakes Goodbye After 30 Years. And I lived in Albuquerque for a very long time. And this is a South Valley, what is considered South Valley. If you don't know, Albuquerque is in a valley. And same as Phoenix, actually. Phoenix is considered just one big valley as well. And it's the verbiage that people will use to describe that valley will be slightly different than there was in Albuquerque, but it's basically the same thing. You basically have the West Valley, the East Valley, the South Valley, and the North Valley, and that's basically how it breaks down. And in Albuquerque, it's slightly different language for the same thing. But in any case, this was a place that was located in the South Valley, and it's no more. Gloria's Cakes is gone. Christopher Chavez comments in here, I need her to make my sister. And this is 2 months ago, mind you. This place has been shut down for years. I need her to make my sister's 21st birthday cake. None of my sister's cakes since Gloria's Cakes went away have not been up to snuff. Please let me know how to contact her if possible. It I feel for you, Christopher. I don't even live in Albuquerque anymore. I ain't gonna say there's not as good a place as here in Phoenix, as you will find some. There's some of the finest cake bakeries in the country here in Phoenix. Quite frankly, there's some fantastic bakeries here. Um, but boy, Gloria's just has that special place in my heart. Um, if I were to go to Albuquerque, I would go to Gloria's and buy a cake. If I only had one piece out of that cake, I'm gonna have a cake from Gloria's if she was still in business. And I understand it's a family owned business. I am the son of a small business owner. I grew up, my mom had a beauty salon for 32 years. She really thought that me or my sister, there's only two of us, and she thought that we would eventually take over her business. And I didn't really want to do it. And my sister tried, but didn't. It wasn't in her heart either. And so I kind of feel for Gloria in this case. And you know, because it's exactly what happened there. Her kids just didn't want to take it over. It was, baking just wasn't in their heart. And that's the bottom line. And it's sad because boy, they had a good clientele. It wasn't for you know lack of clientele, that's for sure. It was just sheer. She couldn't find any children or grandchildren that wanted to keep it up, and so I felt the need to make a video about it. And she was kind enough to they were kind enough to make a video about it. And I've had some of the family reach out to me about that video and really appreciate that they at least have that, and that video is on there, and they at least have that. And I have pictures and interview, and it's nice. It is nice because if you are from Albuquerque in the South Valley specifically, then you'll remember Gloria's Cakes. And boy, they were phenomenal. What else can I say? They were fantastic. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I compare all cakes that I eat to this day to Gloria's, and I'm like, and it's tough because no one else that I know now has had Gloria's Cakes. If I'm talking to my family, then then it's easy. They're good, but they're not Gloria's. You know what I'm saying? And my family knows what I'm talking about. Other than that, it's a very small list. So they were super moist, super light. They were. What are you gonna do? We have Big Dog on here with a comment on my beer review from Schlitz. I was thrilled to find this Schlitz when I found it, and I was dying to review it. So 2 months ago, he commented, my first Schlitz was when and see, when I reviewed this, I reviewed it as a memory beer. Schlitz to me is one of those memory beers. And so his comment is, my first Schlitz was when I was about 12 years old, and it was a hot summer day. I was so thirsty that my dad said, "Okay, son, go ahead and have a sip." I put that bottle in my mouth, and I was amazed at how smooth and quenching it was. I pretty much drank the whole beer down and finished it off with a belch, with a big, and I hope he said no charge, but he probably didn't. Wow, I was hooked until somehow, somewhere in the 70s, it it was bought out by another brewing company when they changed the whole recipe. For decades after that, Schlitz really sucked. Nobody drank it. Then, about 7 or 8 years ago, I bought a 6 pack of Schlitz, and on the side of it, it said Schlitz has now resumed its 1969 recipe. Wow! Wow. So I tried it out. Brings me back to the hot summer day. Now, that's all I drink. For those of you who have written it off since the mid 70s, 80s, and 90s, go back and try one. This is the real deal. You know what, B Dog? There is nothing else to be said. That was an excellent comment, my friend. I'm going to heart you. Now, let me just take a second to comment. Okay, couldn't have said it better myself. Oof, and I spelled couldn't wrong. Spell check again. I mean, I love that description. He went back to when he was 12 years old. You know, his dad let you take a sip of the beer. You know, it's hot, and your dad lets you have a sip. Okay, man. You know what? It's your lucky day. The moon lined up like this, and the clouds are like that, and the sun's hanging this way in the sky. And you know what? It's your lucky day, boy. You get a sip of the beer. And he had that some people, you get that sip of the beer finally, and you're like, you know what, this stuff sucks. You never have another sip again. And for others of us, you get a sip of that beer, and you're like, you know what, this stuff's pretty damn tasty, right? And that's the way it was for him. And so he kind of, when I suppose when he was of age, he started drinking it, and then the recipe kind of fell off, and now he's come back to it, and it's the same beer he remembers from drinking that hot summer day. And and that's what I'm talking about. There's certain beers that we drink, and they just take you back. Pabst is one of them. Pabst, there's a lot of us that have memories of your dad drinking that beer, right? And your dad would drink this beer and up, whatever the story may be that goes along with it. Or you had an uncle that drank that beer, or someone else that was close to you that drank this beer, Pabst or Schlitz or something of that sort, right? These are kind of memory beers for us, and so now these beers are coming back. They're brewing them in a very, very similar way, or they've gone back to just flat the original recipe, and they're phenomenal. They're great, and they're great mostly because we have these images in our mind of these great memories. And in some cases, some of us are old enough now to share these memories with our children who are of age to drink, and it's a lot of fun. And so with that story, then those people begin to occasionally probably drink that beer as well, thinking about the memory that they've been told about whatever, right? And they're just one of those beers. Those beers are very, very fun to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's great to hear B Dog's story about his memory with his father of this beer, because I have them as well from that specific beer as well. Schlitz. I can remember my dad drinking Schlitz, and he drank Schlitz malt liquor. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to commit. I don't want to. I don't want to confess that too much, because we have a whole community out there that would love to run wild with that story. So I'm not going to give them too much ammunition. But um, in those days, you know what I'm saying? But there's lots of memories that go along with some of these beers, which are part of the experience. To enjoying some of these beers. So Gaines Daily, it's let me see, this is a comment on the Guinness. It's low alcohol, unfortunately, only 4.2%. Yeah, it is. There's nothing wrong with the 4.2 beer. If as long as it's good to you, I mean, there's nothing that says that we have to always have at least a 5% beer, and every time you drink three of them, you should at least get a buzz. I mean, there's nothing that says that. There's plenty of beers nowadays that are that same alcohol content that you could literally drink all day, and that's the pleasure of those beers. For those of us that love beer, I am one of them. I completely enjoy what we call quote unquote session beers. That's one of them. You can drink them all day and just enjoy the beer without necessarily having to get completely smashed. And that's the good thing about it. Here's another Sunday morning coffee comment from Mario John. Had to come back. I'm sorry. Had to come check you out, man. Remember watching you 9 years ago. Glad to see you're still active on here. Thank you, Mario. I appreciate you. Uh, I think I'm spelling appreciating wrong again. I think I'm still doing it. So let me fix this. So, and I do, man. People that, and that's kind of why we're still around, man. We've had the fortune to have just the steady flow of people that have watched over the years, and they'll drop off for a while and they come back and they're, hey, I remember this. Let me see if this guy, wow, he's still making videos, man, look at this guy, and they'll jump in for a while again, and over time there's been so many of these people that it's just kept the viewership going. um Here's the beer review on Wells Banana Bread beer. Keith says, I'm sorry, I get this often at my local store here in England. I was pleasantly surprised. It's pretty good. You know what? I don't think that I rated it very well in this video that I posted now. I don't even know how many years ago, but it's been years and years and years ago. Um, but I have heard some people say recently that it's a lot better than it used to be. It's not just a nostalgia beer. It's actually a beer that they've made better. So maybe I need to revisit that one, because I've heard that from several folks already. Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Mason's on here, and he says my choice of drinking right now because I bought it and it's all I got. And you know what? That is the truth, right? I like that comment. That is so true, because that is the bottom line, right? Sometimes it's pure budget. We're drinking something because of pure budget. whether it be I'm out of funds or it's in a lot of cases, like in my case, I'm just not going to spend more than an X amount of dollars on beer. That's just it. I'm sick of spending more than $100 on beer, and so yeah, you know what? I've got a 20 in my pocket right now, and that's all I'm spending on beer right now. And so it happens to be Miller Lite or something like that, right? And so I could completely I completely go I can go along right along with that comment. Here we have the video on Schreinerbach. Nick, someone teach him to pour a beer. You know what? Yeah, please someone teach me. Yes, that is, it probably was just an absolutely pathetic pour. I would not doubt it. um I would not doubt it. Yeah, I'm gonna even heart that one. That was probably a good comment. The guy in that video needs to be taught how to pour a beer. Someone teach him how to pour a beer. This is the Sam Adams Oktoberfest video. Watch this review in October while drinking Sam Adams Oktoberfest has become an autumn tradition for me. Oh, Aaron, you got to be kidding me, man. That is an awesome comment, man. What's more flattering than that, dude? Oh yeah, I should have said yeah. I used the wrong your. Um, yeah, I mean exactly what I put there. You're making me blush, man. Thank you for such kind words. That's awesome, man. I don't even know what to say. That's incredible, man. Thank you. Budweiser American Ale. Oh, I. You know what, man? And I know it's a big beer, but I loved that beer for the short time they made it. I loved it. And brothers pretty much saying the same thing. I used to enjoy this fine crafted ale. I'm saddened that AB discontinued it. They literally it's one of the sad things that they finally decided. Budweiser finally decided to make an all-American beer. All the ingredients. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for a second because I gotta talk about this beer because I really loved it. Budweiser. Now you got to go back to before the takeover, right? Budweiser finally decided they were going to make an all-American beer, all-American ingredients. I think it was supposed to be only sold in America, but in any case, they were going to make a beer of only American ingredients. It had to be an ingredient that came from America, and they were really going after trying to make a good craft beer. I thought they did. I thought they did a really good job. I didn't hear too many people talking any trash about it. As a matter of fact, I thought I remembered a lot of people being quite surprised by it. It had fantastic color. It wasn't going to blow you away. It was a really good, sessionable, everyday, have in the fridge type beer. It was just boom. It was a way for, and I am so shocked that they quit making it. The takeover happened. They made it I don't know. God, how long did they have that beer out? Maybe 5 months, 6 months max. Maybe longer than that, but it wasn't too much longer. And then the takeover happened with InBev, and that smashed it. I mean, it was done like that. I had the issue live when we were first doing Share Beer, when it was in the non-recording days, when we were still on Stickam and stuff, and I had the infamous I was popping the tops of the bottles live on camera, and boom, they were coming right off. I was popping the cap, and the top of the glass bottle was coming off in the cap. And live on air, I called Budweiser and let them know, and they sent me free beer, which was awesome. But and they put me on a list, and I thought, boy, after I thought they were going to start sending me, because the small amount of reviewers that were on Budweiser's list would get crazy stuff from them. I mean, the reviewers that I knew that would eat, and we kept in contact. The ones that did get stuff from Budweiser would get wicked stuff that was one off, that they only gave to a certain level of employees and that sort of thing. And these really cool special glasses, which you guys know I am nuts over beer glasses. And I never got on the list. They never followed all the way through. So I'm really hurt. But you know what? So to this day, when I get a comment on that video, it still gets attention from me. I hope that they will bring it back, and they'll bring it back exactly the same way it was, because it was a fantastic beer. It really was. I think it would hold up even to this day. It was so good. Like I said, not super great. It wasn't gonna blow you away, but it ended up really quickly for myself being one of those beers that, and of course in my area I could get it even at the gas station. It just became one of those beers that was staple, that you would just have in the fridge all the time. It was like, in my particular area, it was like Kilt Lifter here in Phoenix. Like, Kilt Lifter is one of those beers here. It ain't gonna blow you away when you come here to Phoenix, but everywhere you go, you're gonna find Kilt Lifter. That's just the way it is here. If you haven't had Kilt Lifter before, you come to Phoenix. Before you leave here, you're probably gonna have at least a pint, because it's everywhere. It is. If there's, I don't know. I'm trying to think of if there's 8 taps, one of them's going to be Kilt Lifter here. It's just that kind of beer, you know. And Kilt Lifter, for a lot of us here in Phoenix, it's not something that you brag about having. It's just one of those beers. More than likely, you go to someone's, or you're having you'll have a Kilt Lifter. It's like, yeah, give me a Kilt Lifter, screw it. It's like just one of those beers. But thank you for commenting. Really enjoyed that one. This one is the PBR video here. Let me see here. Let me make sure. Yeah, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and PBR is great. Brother says that one's great. This is also PBR, I think. Yeah. Do you do imports? Can you do session beer? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I've done. I've done tons of beer reviews, imported beer reviews, and session beers as well. Yeah, so including videos like this where I'm answering the comments live. So this is a video I did on Guinness Extra Stout, which is actually my preferred Guinness. To this day, if I'm going to have a Guinness, I prefer to have extra stout. Morrison says it. If I were to choose between 14 beers and Guinness was one of them, Guinness every time. Yeah, okay. I can. I don't, I don't know if I'm completely gonna agree with that, but I definitely Guinness extra stout, like I just said, is gonna be one of them. We have from a month ago, Share a Beer 481 Farm Boy. Hey, we have Chase on here. Try Citra Ass Down Double IPA from Against the Grain. It's my favorite. Um, it's hard for me to remember some of these, but I'll try to keep it in mind when I'm shopping again, because if I find it, you guys know, if it does come to my memory, I will, and I find it, I'll buy it. I have no problem. These guys know, man. My beer tabs are, when I'm shopping for beer, are stupid. Oh, I don't know why. And that's why I say sometimes I just get so sick of spending crazy money on beer, but I do. Hobgoblin Dark English Ale. Lee says, I'm sorry, have to do more investigating on this one. Make me laugh, man. So he enjoys the entertainment value of the and this is from Share Beer 483. Farm Boy again. I think it's because there's no way the body could sustain the punishment that football puts on your body year round. I have played for 13 years without missing a season. I had so many injuries that I had to have surgery for later in my life. Now, Chase definitely loves football because he talks about football a lot. It's a darn sure it's a major part of his it's been a major part of his life, and he takes it to heart, and I appreciate that. I darn sure do. Um Sam Adams Chocolate Bach. We have Toffee Man 88. It's it's Daniel Cormier. I don't know what that means. I must have talked about something in that video, and maybe that's what it's funny too, because I have a really close friend of mine that's his last name. So, but his name's not Daniel, so it's um oh speaking of that other community, we have Share a Beer. We have Share a Beer show. Let me see which one this is. This is 484. And we have 209 J Jones on here. Woo! Malt liquor. And then you have Dave G craft beer. And then you have Mr. Rainer 009 label out. And then you have Dave G F your label. I'll let that one stand all on its own. I'll let that whole thread just sit right where it is, right? I have no comment on any of it, other than it's great that everybody comments on video. I don't, I'll let what you guys say stand right where it's at. We have Share Beer Show 474, bringing malt liquor together show. So you have Save the Polar Bear 79. I'm not sure what in the F is going on here. And you know what, man? I have to agree with that. You know what? I host a show and I don't know what in the hell. I'm going to let them know. Yeah, I host the show and I don't know what's going on here either. So it's, you know, I'm just validating what he's saying, man, because hell, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta go with the flow too. What on God's green earth is going on here? Again, I don't know. So we have Share Beer Show 484, and we have 40 ounce Reaper on here. If you don't get that, that's one of the malt liquor community as well. Um, and that's from a month ago and edited as well. You nerds need to mind your own business and stick to your own god awful community. We ain't your little science project. You guys use Steel Worldwide to get views. I'll thumb up him and let that just sit where it is, man. I'm not but that I dig the comment though, you know what I'm saying? And that's definitely not gonna stop us from reporting on this thing that is the malt liquor community. I particularly happen to find it fascinating. This is a video I did on it's an open box I did on my 40D when I first got it, which is already years ago. And Shervan is wanting to know the price. Ooh. I'll reply to him. I think I paid I don't know, 11 or 12. I want to say $1,200 for this kit back then. It was like 11 or $1,200. What I did, but I didn't pay the whole $1,200. I had paid for another camera kit, which was roughly, I don't know, $600, and I bought it from Costco. There was nothing wrong with the kit. Nothing wrong with the camera other than the minute I got it home and started working with it. After a week, I quickly realized, and this is a good tip for anyone that's thinking about getting into photography or just flat buying a camera. Like you might be, and I get this question a lot, what camera should I buy, whatever. This is what I did. And this is, God, over 10 years ago already. I went and bought my first my first SLR. Okay. And I'm going to spend big money. I want to say it was somewhere around $600. And this is a big deal for me. And I realized quickly, and then mind you, this is my first, I went from a Canon basic point and shoot. I mean, the most basic of cameras. Mind you, this is 10 years ago. So the basic point and shoot then was nothing like they are now. And then I moved up to an SLR that you had a lot of control over, but it was still an entry level SLR. Came with a couple lenses, and at that time it was nice. Bought it from Costco. After a week of messing with it, I quickly realized that, you know what? I am going to outgrow this thing quicker, just like that. And before you know it, I'm going to want the next camera up. I'm going to be stuck with trying to sell this gear, and I don't want to go through any of the hassle. So let me just fork the money now. So what I did, my theory was I'm going to take this camera kit back to Costco, who at that time let you have a full refund, and I think they still do in a certain time limit. And it had only been a week, so I took that back, and then they didn't give me my cash back, but they gave it back to me on a Costco card, which is fine. I took that Costco card, and at the time they didn't sell that 40D in the store; they sold it online. And so I used that card, that cash card, the Costco cash card, and bought my 40D online through Costco. Um, with more money, I had to put more money towards that, but I just felt like at that time that was the better bet for me, and it ended up that it absolutely was. I still have that camera. I still own that same camera. I don't use it, but I still own it. I think it's been now 2 years ago that I bought my 7D Mark II, but it took all this time. I was still using that camera all this time, and I've got most of these images are that are behind me were shot still with that camera. Um, some of the images that are in front of me and some of the images that hang in the rest of the house were shot with my 7 Mark II, but that camera can get you phenomenal results if used properly. And I'm completely 100%. Anybody that's looking to shoot and you want to shoot better, now there's even more stuff available to you than there was when I first started. But I'm completely 100% self-taught, and oof, my nose is really. And so that's how I learned. And I learned from just watching videos, reading blogs, and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. And they're completely right. Like, you won't get completely familiar with your equipment until you have at least 10,000 shots under your belt. And then once you start getting to that first 10,000, I say first 10,000 for a reason, because you'll do more if it, if you pick up the habit. um if it starts coming naturally to you, you'll start shooting more. But you'll get better. You'll learn how to frame better. You'll learn how to compose. And before you know it, that camera will be something you don't even think about. You'll already know what what you want to do, where it needs to be, and before you know it, you're not even thinking about it. You're just boom. It's just another tool that you're using to get the shot you want. I would recommend getting yourself a camera, getting yourself some lenses, and just work with that for a while. Work with that for a while. You know, just get really, really comfortable with that camera and with that lens, and then move to a different lens, and then get comfortable with that one, and just shoot, shoot, shoot thousands of images. Trust me, just shoot everything. And then once you start getting a style, and once you start figuring out this is what I like to shoot, shoot everything in the meantime. When you're first starting, shoot everything. Shoot this, shoot that, shoot this. Everything's kind of interesting to you. And then you'll start narrowing down, and okay, you know what? I think I really like doing this. And I think I really like doing not just this, but I like doing this in a particular way, right? But it takes almost 10,000 images to get to that point. And it sounds like a lot, but it goes by pretty darn fast. That's kind of my recommendations. I would recommend that first 10,000 images before you even start adding external light to it, because that gets extremely complicated. Get familiar with your camera, get familiar with the lenses that you have, and then bring in external light, because oof, that's I've been shooting with external light for years, and it's something that I'm still getting down. Like I can make a shot happen. Don't get me wrong, but there's so much to it when you add external light. It really but it's not for all types of shooting. Um, it's not. There's a dear friend of mine who shoots professionally regularly. He shoots cars, and you name the car magazine, he's been in it or been on the cover. You name it, and he shoots all natural light. So there's nothing to say that you have to have external light. Um, Natural light might be your style as well. So just concentrate on what you have, your camera, and you know what? I can get pretty damn good images right off my phone. Once you start learning how to compose, and once you start learning how to frame, and how you like to shoot, and how you learn what your eyeballs are actually seeing, and how you can actually get that in a picture, in an image, then you can almost do that with anything. And then it almost don't matter. It's kind of hilarious because I'll spend all this money on photography gear, and half the time, better than half the time, all I use nowadays is this stupid iPhone, and I can get. I'm not gonna try to make it like I can get the same quality, but I can get an image that I'm content with, right? I'll just leave it right there. But yeah, I'm glad that people are still looking at those old photography videos I've posted. That's good. That's what they're there for. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. I'm glad. Um, Here's the one for Sam Adams Chocolate Bock again. Lee says I've got to find this beer. Unfortunately, nowadays they only put it. What is it? The winter pack. There's a pack that they put it in, and it's the only way to get it. You have to buy the whole 12 pack. You're going to get these other beers that are very good. They're not any good. It's not that they're not any good. The whole pack, you're going to enjoy the beer. But it is a shame that you have to buy a whole 12 pack of beer just to get, 3 or 4 of the beers that you really want to get to. Whereas before, it was a special 2-year release, and you could get a bomber of it. Uh, Personally, I still, and it could be just completely psychological, feel that it was better then, but it's still pretty darn good. I'll buy the pack, and I still enjoy it. Let me see. This was a video I made, woof, and this is an old iMac that I had, but my iMac won't install iOS 10. I'm sorry, OS 10.6 or uh, 10.7. And Adelia, I said I have the same issue as well. Wow. Um, and I actually don't know how to tell her how to fix it because this was so long ago that I forget what the fix was on it. Because now I am up to, let me see about this Mac. Let me click on this. 10.14, for instance, 10.14.2. That's my current version of Mac OS. So I don't know how to tell you how to. If you're using 10.6 or 10.7, dear God, I don't know how to tell you how to fix that. I can't even begin to. Sorry, I just got a text on my computer here. Oops. This is a video I made on my Manfrotto, and I still have. This is the head that I still use. My Manfrotto 804 RC2, and this was a head repair that I did um, um, okay, on your tripod. The part that your camera actually mounts to is your head. Okay, just to super simplify it. Those two things are sold separately. That particular head has a model number, and it has a very simple problem that can happen to it. A spring will come out if you're messing with certain things. And so I thought I'd post a video on the simple way to fix it. Had no idea it would get as many views as it does, but it is still an issue with that particular head. That a tripod, a good tripod. If you and I've had this tripod now for 10 years. I still use it. It's still solid. It's still a good tripod, a good light stand. You buy them, you're done. Like that's it. Boom, done. right? Now you'll have different tripods that you'll have for different needs, but once you buy it, you're done. Like that's it, boom, done. Right? Unless you're that type of person that turns into like, well, I'm going to be going on this hike, and so I'm going to want a slightly lighter tripod for this specific purpose. Other than that, if you're pretty much, you know, I use a tripod for this, or I could use it for this, you're going to buy one and pretty much be set. Um, some people I know might have two, but they're pretty much set. Like once you buy them, you're done, right? And that's the way I am. I have three tripods, and they all have a specific purpose. But my main tripod is still that same one that I posted that in my main head that I use for that tripod is still that same one that I posted in that video years ago. And Scarlett has a comment: make sure the screw is tight, and if possible, use the thread lock type of glue, Loctite, which is a good tip. I have not had that same problem again. I fixed it, and I make sure that that's tight every time. And to tell you the truth, I quit fidgeting with it as much as I used to, and so that's taking care of my problem. Let me go back to the screen share. Boy, this is a long video, and but I am trying to knock out a lot of these comments. So this is the beer review from the 2018 Hot Butcher for the World Brewing Herbs in Horto. That's a pretty recent, actually, that's my most recent beer review that I just did. And Farm Boy says, absolutely love your review, brother. Great job. Thank you, man. And Andrew on here, I'm sorry. I finished off my Castle Danger Cream Ale Growler from my brother. Two full 16-ounce glasses. It's hitting me like a Mack truck right now, as I have had nothing to eat for dinner, as I was not hungry. Okay, so he wasn't hungry before he had the beer, but now he had the beer and it's hitting him like a Mack truck. And he didn't have this beer. He just thought he'd comment on what he had. I have to say, go see that review. I still feel the same about that beer, and I have two others, or at least a few others, that I need to review from them that they sent me. I mean, I can't say enough good about that. I mean, the beer was phenomenal. It was fantastic. This is, if you can tell from the thumbnail, this is from show 486. Happy Thanksgiving and safe travels. We have 209 J Jones on here, malt liquor. We have Andrew, malt liquor is horse piss, with an insult thrown at Budweiser. And then Mr. Rainer 009 says label out, and Dave G says craft beer. And then Andrew has several comments on here. And, I'll skip over most of these because Andrew's on regularly, so I can just comment right to him. And I'll go right to Robert's comment on here. He says malt liquor report, label out, hashtag label out. And he goes right to the time when the malt liquor report probably started. We have Mr. Rainer in here, 009. Missed the live show, but caught the replay because I'm watching you, Jody. Cheers to Bum, right, for educating the craft beer folks about the MLDC malt liquor, label out, no door foam. By the way, open your eyes, Joe D, and folks, right? And then Dave G gets in here. Quit drinking that Panther piss. It's melting your brain. Craft beer. And then Andrew gets on here and at Dave G, quality is better than quantity, right? I would rather go to a steakhouse and order a $30 steak with the sides versus going to Golden Corral. I really don't know what the hell that had to do with what they were talking about, but Andrew's funny, man. He's good. Um, Albert gets on here, man. I'd love to send you some beers from some local breweries here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Let me know if that's possible. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I said, sure, just send me, just email me, and thanks for the offer. Some of these I've got to. Oh, that's awesome. Good, good, good. I'm glad I've got to these. Dave G, this malt liquor douchebag 209 Gay Jones isn't very intelligent, trying to insult craft beer, but yet he's supporting craft beer by buying it. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer. No self respecting craft beer drinker would spend their hard earned cash on malt liquor and drain pour it. And I told him, you're absolutely correct. Um, this is on my video I did after going to, I was at the Monday night game with the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Rams in LA. And so I did a video on my experience. And Ramp 622 says that game was amazing. And I said, it sure was. Chabalo 72 says, so you're a Chiefs fan? That's my team. And I said, no, Rams fan. And here's my video tour. I did a video years ago of me at work, right? And so who is this? Merc 225 says, how is P&D at ABF? Is it super crazy? Do you start out as full-time driver or part-time? I have been tempted to jump ship from another LTL carrier. Thanks in advance. And this was a month ago. Um, uh, for those that don't know, P&D is pickup and delivery, and ABF is the company I work for. For those that don't know, is it super crazy? Well, it's going to vary a lot, right? I made this video while I was still working in Albuquerque. Albuquerque is worlds different. It almost even feels like a different company. Um, the way that things are run there as opposed to here in Phoenix. So depending on where you're at is going to be a much different atmosphere, different climate, and all that sort of thing. I don't know where you're at. I know that a lot of areas are hiring. So if you are interested, just go online and fill out an application and give it a shot. They'll hire you as a casual, and you'll have plenty of time as a casual to figure it out and see if you do want to get hired full time without having to quit your current job. So a lot of terminals do offer casual work, and I don't remember what they start at, $15 or $16 an hour as a casual, something like that. But at least you can get your feet wet and figure it out yourself. So give it a shot. So hopefully you're watching this video and you can at least get that response. 209 James Jones says Rams defense is an effing joke and they should be embarrassed. Hurry back, Talib. Yeah. Wade Phillips is pure S. You know what? I have been complaining about the Rams defense our whole season. And now that we're getting towards the end of the season, we're just being exposed. And this game with the Chiefs was kind of a pure example of how bad our defense is. I cannot disagree with him, man. And Talib is back now. And you know, we've had these two losses, and boy, we need to get it together. I will be at the game here in Phoenix when the Rams come here to play Phoenix, but boy, if we don't win this one, I gotta tell you, man, I'm hanging it up. I mean, if you can't beat the Cardinals at this point, dear God. But head coach says, you know, hands down, best game ever. It was. It's definitely. I definitely have no regrets going to that game. I absolutely love The outcome of the game, the game experience itself was incredible. Had a great time in LA. It was awesome. Anyway, this is from Share 487. Mister says, miss you guys today. Sorry, watching pre-recorded episode. I love Uber. I have 5 rides at 20% off. I don't know if you got the discount. Okay, see, you know about it. Are you in? Are you in IPA person? I'd love to. I'm having a Stone IPA while watching this. Also, see that you're into photography. I'm into audio production. I do local program in Morro Bay at a low power FM station. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. We have had over the years many professional people that do audio or video for a living. The guy that made my logo for my photography that I still use, my logo, my Jody photography logo that you'll see on all my images, or on most of them, was made by a pro that was in Boston, and he shoots uh, photography and video for weddings and for other stuff now. He's very, very good. And he had seen my logo at that time and was like, dude, can't stand your logo. Do you mind if I make you one? And I was like, oh, hell yeah. And so he made me a logo. And that's the one I still use. We have had in the past a guy that would live while we were doing Share a Beer. He would get on live from the actual TV studio. I think he was an ABC affiliate where he was at. And he would get on there. He was a producer, and he would get on there and show you what he was doing. It was awesome. So we have been fortunate to have a wide variety of professional talent get on the show, with many, many different things. This is also on my beer review I did for the Hot Butcher for the World Brewing. Whoops. Uh, Joshua Thompson, miss your beer reviews. I occasionally watch Share Beer, but I enjoy your beer reviews even more. They seem to be few and far between now. Please keep them coming. Man, you're right, Josh. I've dropped the ball on these things, and it is, we tend to just go with what is easiest and this and that, and they have made doing the Share Beer show, they have made doing live shows like this that I'm doing right now so easy that that's actually what I look forward to doing now. And I've completely got it backwards. I need to get back to posting more beer reviews, because the true fans of mine that literally have followed me for years and years and years follow me because of those beer reviews. And you're absolutely right. A lot of people do like to hear my opinion, and I don't put enough value on that, on my opinion. I put more value on the Share a Beer community and everybody's opinion and this and that. And I think there's a place for both, right? And you're absolutely right. I do need to get back to that. Let me see. Microsoft sends me back my 360 refurb with new heatsink. Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. I even forgot I did a video on that. Yeah, man, this was when Microsoft was having major issues with the 360, and your 360 would overheat. And they were offering this completely free deal. If your 360 fell into your Xbox 360, fell in your serial number fell into this certain lot of numbers, which was a lot of them, though. It wasn't just a small amount. It was a lot of them. Then you could send it back to them, and they would fix this overheating issue and then send it back to you. And it did. and that was a video I made on it. Carl made a comment on there because I was wearing my Teamster shirt in this video. You can barely see the tip of it there. That's the Teamster logo there. I am a Teamster, for those that don't know. I am a diehard Teamster too. I love being union. I could talk about it forever. So he says, Jimmy Hoffa forever, brother. God bless the Teamsters and your candid report. Yes, FedEx sucks. They need to learn a thing or a million from your union. Merry Christmas. Yeah, God bless Teamsters, brother. I would be buried in a Teamster casket. I love being union. My father was union. I have a long line of union brotherhood in my family. Um, it's and Teamsters at that, like a long line of Teamsters in my family. I just I don't know what else to say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't want to get too into it because it's a lot of people don't agree with it, and that's fine. It's my opinion, and then that's your opinion, and that's what I love about Share Beer Show. That's what I love about the whole thing with these videos, is we all have our opinions, and to me, this is one place where we can share them all. I've already shared with you that I love unions. I love being a Teamster. I love it. I've been a Teamster now for 20 years, and I'll retire a Teamster, and I'll have a fantastic pension. Not a lot of pensions going around these days. I got one. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end all. You should still put money in an IRA and invest some money and have, it's never quite enough. You know what I'm saying? It can be, but don't necessarily, if you are a person that has a pension, don't solely rely on that pension. Make sure you have other investments and make sure you do those. Be smart with your money now. Don't just solely rely on that pension, because crazier things have happened, and next thing you know, you ain't got nothing. So make sure you take care of yourself, man. Don't just rely on that. But I mean, the benefits, everything is, it's good, man. It's good. Jason on here has a comment on the, I can't say that beer. I have a hard time saying that beer, but that was a good one. Really looking forward to comparing this one to the Marzen. That was that smoke beer I had from Germany. Really, really good beer. They almost call it a meat beer, right? It's like smoked meat. It's fantastic. This was Share Beer Show 488, Crash and Birth. We labeled this one, and you can see from the thumbnail and this only happened for a few, maybe a minute, 2 minutes at most. But we happened to get Bum, and I noticed it quick when he fell asleep on the show. And just by chance, Google made that the thumbnail. I didn't pick that thumbnail. I didn't post that thumbnail. Google picked that one. That was a completely random one, and it was a perfect one. Oh, I love that thumbnail. And Chris Clark says, congratulations, Joe. This is the review of Ruddles County. And we have Cyberash 3000. My family founded his brewery. It makes me sad to see how far it has fallen. Wow. I'll heart that. Wow. Wow. That's incredible, right? And then this one, Share Beer 489, a very recent show, a shit show. This was a week ago, this comment. Dave G says, not sure what Zach is talking about with government interfering with Sierra Nevada's sharing their new beer recipe with other breweries in a nationwide fundraiser to help efforts in California. I can't find anything about it online. Dave, and that's the value of the show. That's the value of the Share Beer show, is that we actually have brewers, and Zach is one of our regular craft brewers that jumps in on the show and shares with us these sorts of facts, because it's an absolute. I have no reason to not believe Zach. He lets us know some of the inside stuff that you might not hear about otherwise, and that's the beauty of it, man. He is not shy. He will not hold back, and he'll let you know it's nothing that Sierra Nevada's doing, and it's something that all breweries have to go through when putting out a new beer. There's all these rules and regulations to putting that beer out there from the minute they come out with one. They put a label out there, boom, it has to get government approval. It has to get this, it has to get that. And that's kind of what he's talking about. They've made it so hard for Sierra Nevada to put out this beer. There's all these rules and regulations that other breweries wanting to get in on it have to the red tape. That's what he's talking about. The red tape that has to be gone through in order to even make this beer for a charity. It's ridiculous. And that's kind of his point, is it's ridiculous the level that you have to go through just to make a beer for charity. And I can't thank him enough for jumping in there, and we get it kind of gives you some insight into the behind the scenes and what goes on from a brewer's point of view, a brewer's point of view. We have our point of view from as a consumer, and then there's the reality of what it takes to get that beer to you from the brewer's side. And so that part I just absolutely love. Just love it. It's I can't tell you how valuable that is to me. I absolutely love it. Let me see. Let me go back to sharing the screen. I like to show you guys the comments so you actually see them, and then occasionally show myself. But you've already seen this ugly dude. You don't need to see too much of me. Let me see. So this one's from Live Spirits Review. Oh, the Kirkland Canadian Whiskey versus Crown Royal. Wow. Aaron Jenkins is on here. It's a great whiskey. Crown is aged 12 years and Kirkland's is only aged 6. It would be awesome if they had a 12-year Kirkland's. I think this has come up before, and I just forgot about that. Now, Mark would be the one that I lean to on this sort of comment, because not only does Mark know a little bit more about spirits than I do, but he goes to Costco way more regularly than I do. So I am maybe a once or twice a year visitor of Costco, whereas Mark goes far more regularly than I do. So he would know if there's even occasionally something close to. I know that there is another whiskey, but I don't know if it's that specific one that's aged a little longer. But I know there's a few varieties of Kirkland whiskey. I know there's a couple varieties of their vodka. I know there's I want to say, or there has been in the past, a couple varieties of their tequila. So I wouldn't doubt that there is a few varieties of that whiskey or of their whiskey. So Mark would be the one I'll have to. I'll if I remember, I'm going to try to bring that up with him tomorrow. I'll try to go over some of these. Share Beer Show 490. This is even getting super left, right, or yeah. This is one. Left leg or right foot or left foot. So this was the one where we covered that, and this was kind of a long show, I think. Dave G on here. Saturday NFL games air every year. It's always the last 2 or 3 weeks of the regular season. I didn't realize that. So tomorrow I'll have to be trying to watch football, and I just didn't realize that. Also on the same show, we had Mr. Rayner jump in there with malt liquor, and then we had Robert label out. We had Blitzed PIG on here, malt liquor, which, which I think is actually more accurate, right? Because they go malt liquor, right? Malt liquor. That's the way I think that's the way the chairman actually does it. And that's from 489. And then on my Guinness review on here, we have Daro. Once again, wow, making several comments. And they typically kind of go from bottom to top here because this top one would be more recent. The can has 1.8 UK units of alcohol. That means it takes your liver 1.8 hours to process the alcohol. I I like it better from the keg. When I was on holiday in Hawaii last year, there was a place that serves it. Snapper Sports Bar, I think it was called, had fish and chips there almost every day. I was there. Pitcher of Guinness for 16.95 plus tax. Can't go wrong. Must have been spending upwards of $40 every time I was there and watching the football. The football. A football that is wrong. Of course, because in the UK, football is the real football is soccer. And then another comment: over the lifetime of the gas supply, you will go through several kegs. I depends on how much gas you have in the cylinder. The one I'm I am eyeballing is big enough for 17 to 26 kegs, but it weighs nearly 14 kilograms, I guess, when full. My setup would over time cost about is that 2 pounds a pint, not counting the cost of electricity. I'm sorry, 4 kegs every 6 months. The gas would last over 3 years, 2 pints every day. And then another comment: it isn't too expensive to have it on tap at home. You could probably do it for about $1,000. The most expensive part of it would be the kegerator that could set you back at least 600. The gas, not including the cylinder, about 40. It depends on the size of your cylinder. Do a search for beer glass on Google. Oh, beer gas on Google. You may have to pay a cash deposit or monthly rent on the cylinder. A Guinness kegerator kit about $150, and the keg itself about $150. Okay. And then share a beer 490. We have Corin Russell. Why Jody grow hairs? Didn't grow hairs. I don't know. You'd have to ask, my DNA. I'm not sure, man. Like, cause the hair is all gone, my friend. That's it. Like, I don't know. That you'd have to ask DNA, my DNA. Like, you can interview my DNA one day, I suppose. Beer review on Guinness. Really, I'm sorry, great review from Detroit. And then here from the Murphy Stout video, Daro again, 2096. I have had both. Guinness tastes slightly better, though Murray's is cheaper to buy by the keg. And again, he's on the keg comment there. And then this is also from the Guinness video. I'm Irish, living in America the last year. It's completely different in Ireland, the taste. Also, this guy butchered the pouring. It made me cringe. That ain't chief. And finally, hold it up to the light. It's dark red. It ain't black. Pour that baby slowly. Not so fast, you lunatic. I have heard that so many times now, man. I have to heart that one. I love that he called me a lunatic. I love that one. That I have heard that so many times. Now, mind you, this is 10 years ago now. And you know, I was just getting into it, so I didn't have any idea how to pour the damn thing. I just poured it. And it's so much fun to get all the comments from this video. It really is. This is from my unboxing video that I just did this week of the Amazon Echo Link. And for those of you who don't even know what an Amazon Echo Link it is, go ahead and watch the video and then look it up. Andrew says, "Hey Joe, I will be working again this weekend and won't make it to the Share Beer Show." And Coach said, "We miss you, Andrew." And then Coach says, I like when you do these videos. Love hearing your opinion." And Havana says, "My videos are best, you cunt." So Havana was just letting them know, hey, my videos are way better, man. You got to check out my videos. My videos are it. You know, that's where they're at. You know, so I have no idea how long these videos go. I wish, you know what, that's one thing they need to do. They need to put a timer here so I kind of know how long that I've been taping this. Because I really have no idea. Unless I've kept some kind of mental track on what time it was when I started. I do have my clock here in the corner. But I don't have a timer, and I kind of do wish that they would put a timer there. That would be super helpful. But thank you for tuning in for this. If you watch the whole thing, God bless you. You know what I'm saying? But thank you to everybody that comments on these videos that we post up here. And I am going to do. It is my heart. It's in my heart to post more beer reviews. It really is. If I do, then it is in this form. I like to do things live now. I don't have the patience anymore to sit here and edit like I used to. I used to edit quite a bit, and it took up a lot of my day. And I just don't have the patience for that anymore. I have to admit, I have to be completely honest. But I think that I'm able to put out a pretty decent video review, doing it the live way. And I think it's kind of makes it really more honest, isn't it? Like it's just one whole take. There's no editing. There's no do-over. It's just boom. This is literally what I'm thinking right now. This is what I think while I'm sampling this beer, and you know that, hey man, this is shot live, and there's no fudging it, right? There's no like, oh, well, I didn't quite like what I said there, so let me cut that part out and redo that part. And you know what I'm saying? There's no none of that with my reviews when I'm doing them live, at least. So thank you to everybody. This is actually my towel when I went to LA. This is my towel from that Rams game. Go Rams. So we'll see you guys, man. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support. And we'll see you Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. Peace out, man.